What's up, boys? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to give you my predictions for the ACC 2022-2023 college football season. It's just around the corner. I'm ready for football to be back. It seems like it's been a very long time since we've had football. I am stoked for it. Should be a good year in an ACC that's somewhat looks like it's falling apart, so we'll see how things go. This could be like the last couple of years as the ACC's intact, so let's enjoy it while it lasts. And first, we're going to do our predictions, ranking all 7 teams in the Atlantic and all 7 teams in the Coastal. And then following that, I'll give my ACC championship game predictions. Obviously, winner in the Atlantic, winner in the Coastal goes to that game. And then finally, I'll give my ACC Player of the Year predictions at the very end of this video, so stick around for that. If you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button. Helps me out a lot. Thank you very much. And let's get right into this video. Starting out here at number 1 in the Atlantic, it's going to be the Clemson Tigers. They had a down year last year, and yes, down for them is still a 10-win season. So the program did not fall off like a lot of people are saying. They'll be back, and I don't want to say as good as ever, because I do think it's not the best Clemson team we've seen, but they're going to be really good. Probably the top dogs in the ACC this year, and that's who I have at the number 1 team. You look at the defense is stacked. Quarterback, you could worry a little bit. DJ Uiagalelei, he struggled a lot last year. Offensive line didn't help him very much, but you got freshman Cade Klubnik that could come in if needed. And also, you got a third stringer in Hunter Johnson. That's a grad transfer. That, I mean, if things are going horribly wrong, you give him a chance. But you know, so I like Clemson this year. I don't think their group of receivers is anything special right now, as far as we know. The offense as a whole isn't fantastic, but you look at that defense, definitely worthy of the number 1 seed when you factor it in all together. And Dabo Swinney's one of the best coaches in the ACC. So let's get on to number 2 here. We're going to go NC State at 2 here, the Wolfpack. One of the best defenses in college football, without a doubt, in the ACC. This defense is elite. You look at the D-line, they're always cranking out D-linemen. You may not know them per se to go into the season, but Corey Durden, he's a stud. And they got some other guys that are more than likely going to emerge because they just crank out talent there. Linebacking groups, maybe the best in the ACC, if not college football as a whole. Drake Thomas, Isaiah Moore, and Peyton Wilson, those are 3 guys that are going to be playing in the NFL one day, in my opinion. And that's a really good group of linebackers that you love to see. And this defense is just stacked. It keeps going. The secondary, Shaheem Battle, Derek Pitt, Cyrus Fagan at safety. It is a really good, deep group that's returning a lot of production. The defense is stacked. As far as the offense goes, you're not necessarily as excited. You do have one of the best quarterbacks in the country in Devin Leary. The running game, you do lose your top 2 backs from last year, but Jordan Houston, I think, will be fine, along with Trent Penix, who might get some reps there as well. But, you know, O-line lose Ike Ekwonu, but they're also pretty good and experienced, especially on the left side. The right side could be a little bit worrisome. We'll see how that goes for them. And the receivers, you turn 2 guys in Devin Carter and Thayer Thomas that are going to be really good for you, and bring in a transfer in Daryl Jones, who should be solid. So overall, yeah, it was close for me with Clemson and NC State at 1 and 2. And also this third team I'm about to mention is also really good. So it was tough, but I did go with NC State at 2 here. Number 3, I'm going with Wake Forest, and that's tough because they did win the Atlantic Division last year, and they're returning a good bit of production. I don't want to say last year was a one-hit wonder for Wake Forest, because they were really good. You know, you got Sam Hartman, one of the best quarterbacks in the ACC, but can they repeat that in the same way that they did this year? Justice Ellison, good running back. Same thing with Christian Turner as the backup there. Offense, you got A.T. Perry, one of the top wide receivers in the ACC. You lose Jaquari Roberson, but you know, who's going to emerge outside of A.T. Perry this year and be that big receiving threat? I don't know. We'll see how that goes for him. Good experienced offensive line. And defense, you don't know many of the names on this defense, but they were good at times last year. So it's a little concerning with just the lack of star power on this team. But obviously, one of the best coaches in Dave Clawson. He'll find out how to get this team definitely, I think, above 8 wins. But I don't know much more than that. So we're going to go with Wake Forest here at number 3 on this list. Number 4 is Boston College, the Boston College Eagles. And I think this is where the teardrop off happens. You got Clemson, State, Wake Forest, and I think there's a teardrop off here, to be honest with you, with the rest of the groups here. Boston College, a solid team. Phil Dracovic, really experienced, good quarterback. I think he's really underrated. He hasn't got to play much lately, but I think he's really talented. He'll be just fine. Pat Garwo, a potential breakout / really good running back candidate this year. Zay Flowers, we know what he can do at the wide receiver position. Got a bit of an inexperienced offensive line compared to most teams that you're seeing at the offensive line position. Mostly that's a group you want to experience there. They don't have too much of that. But as far as the defense goes, it should be all right. You're not looking at much and being like, wow, they got this guy, but it should be fine. I'm going to go Boston College here at number 4 on my rankings in the Atlantic. At number 5, I have the Florida State Seminoles. Florida State's been one of the most disappointing programs over the past couple of years, but things should be starting to turn around. I definitely do not think it's going to be this year. They're a couple of years away from being back to probably even a winning team, in my opinion. Jordan Travis, solid enough quarterback. You like him more as a runner than you do a passer, but he's fine. O-line, not exactly ideally experienced, I guess. Receivers, nobody jumps off the page to you except for potentially Micah Pittman. He could be really good for this team. They lost their running backs last year to the draft. And the defense, there's a lot of guys to prove. You lose Jermaine Johnson, so we'll see how things go there. But they do have Akeem Dent, who I'm really high on. I think he's really good. Going to number 6, we have Louisville. And I know Louisville fans, if they're watching this, they're going to be angry with this. Because I know you got Malik Cunningham, one of the best quarterbacks in the ACC. ACC is a good quarterback division. A good quarterback conference, I should say. It really is. But with what you're bringing around him, I seriously don't see it. I don't think he's that Deshaun Watson type guy, and not Deshaun Watson. I don't think he's that Lamar Jackson type guy that people think he is. I mean, Malik Cunningham, he's really good. I know he's really, really good, but the wide receivers don't jump off the page to me. And defensively, on the defensive line, almost no experience whatsoever. I don't know what pressure or who they're going to be stopping on the run. That defense as a whole, and especially the defensive line, really is scaring me right now. Just looking at it, I think that offense could be good, led by Malik Cunningham, but the defense, not sure how that's going to work out for him. So unfortunately, odd man out, Louisville ends up here at number 6. And finally, number 7, it's the Syracuse Orange. Not much to say about here. They just haven't been good. One guy I would like to point out is Sean Tucker. Absolutely stellar freshman season. He's coming into his sophomore campaign looking like one of the best running backs in college football. But unfortunately for him, the rest of the team's not going to be able to help him out that much. So we'll see how things go for them at this spot. But they're, without a doubt, in my opinion, the worst team in the Atlantic. I know I'm going to get called biased for this. I'm going North Carolina. North Carolina, I feel, is the most talented team in the Coastal. And I think the Gene Chizik factor cannot be understated. A lot of Carolina fans and media have brought this up, but Gene Chizik is a difference maker. Former national championship winning defensive coordinator and head coach when he was with the Auburn Tigers and Texas Longhorns respectively. And he's just a really good defensive mind. He's going to come in and get the guys motivated and bring more of a simplistic scheme than what Jay Bateman was bringing to the table. But obviously as a Tar Heel fan, I know a lot about the team, and I truly feel good about it. I wouldn't be surprised, obviously, if they didn't end up in first in the Coastal. But you look at Jacoby Criswell, Drake May, whoever ends at quarterback, I feel perfectly fine with that. Two extremely, extremely talented guys. Whoever wins that job is going to be deserving of it, and they'll be just fine. British Brooks is a guy who broke out late last season as a former walk-on. He did really good in the NC State game. If he can maintain that, run game is going to be really good and deep as well. You talk about DJ Jones, Elijah Green, Caleb Hood, George Pettaway, Omarion Hampton. The running back room is really solid and really deep, especially. Then you get into the group of receivers. Antoine Green and Josh Downs, the two headliners, especially being Josh Downs. He's over 1,000 yards almost guaranteed if he stays healthy. A dynamic playmaker who's more than likely going to be a top 2-round pick in next year's NFL draft. But you talk about the third wide receiver position, that is a point of concern, I'm not going to lie. Multiple outlets have it as Justin Olsen, multiple have it as Kobe Paysauer, and some have it as Antoine Green as well. Excuse me. I'm obviously not in practices enough and stuff like that to be able to just tell and be like, oh yeah, that guy's going to be the third starter, no doubt about it. But, Justin Olsen has shown glimpses. There's more potential in a guy like, and Andre Green, so we'll see how that works out. O-line, really disappointing last year. So if they can just honestly be better than what they were last year, that'll help out a lot because there was some turnover in that room. Bringing a transfer in Corey Gaynor that you hope helps. Spencer Rowland might not start, maybe. It's hard to say if he win that job over William Barnes or not. But a good deep, I can say that's a deep offensive line. I don't know if it's going to be good, but we'll see. And 5-star Zach Rice, if he gets on the field and shows what he can do, that could be big time for the Tar Heels. And also tight end can't be understated. Bryson Nesbitt, breakout candidate waiting to happen, and Kamari Morales also really good. Defensively, so many talents on there. I mean, you talk about Des Evans, Travis Shaw, excuse me, bringing a transfer Noah Taylor, Keyshawn Silver, Miles Murphy. Those are high-end 4- and 5-star guys on the defensive line that you love having, and should be able to break out in this new scheme of Gene Chizik. That should help out a lot. Linebacking room isn't deep, but it's definitely talented, led by Cedric Gray and Power Eccles this year. Cornerback room, I think, is personally stacked. Like, maybe the most stacked position group on the team. You look at Tony Grimes and Storm Duck, who I think legitimately could both be first-round NFL talents. And then Legend Cavazos, Ohio State transfer. He could be really good as that third guy. That's going to be nice. He could play safety. I'm not sure what he's going to play or not. And, of course, at safety, you got Jaquarius Conley, Gio Biggers, Cameron Kelly. That is high-end potential there. And I am really excited for this Tar Heel team and defense to take a step up this year. So we'll see what happens with that. Number 2, the Miami Hurricanes. A team that Carolina just owns, to be quite honest with you. I'm just kidding. But over the last couple of years, Carolina has been really good against Miami. But anyways, you love your quarterbacking situation in Tyler Van Dyke. I would like to see a little bit more of him before I just label him as maybe a top 3 quarterback in the ACC, although he definitely has that potential. Offensive line, there's some question marks. Does Zion Nelson take that jump this year? We'll see. But as a whole, I'm not going to be honest, they've been recruiting well lately, but there's nobody that just sticks out this year that I think is going to be a difference maker to get this team to win the Coastal, in my opinion. Mario Cristobal, I think, was a good hire, and I think they'll get there eventually, just not quite this year. So I do have them at 2. Number 3, I'm going with the Pitt Panthers, the team that won the Coastal Division last year, led by Kenny Pickett. And this year, I don't expect the same. I think, honestly, they could be near a 9-win team. Honestly, I think the Coastal is actually really good and better than most years. But I think this could be a solid Pitt team. Keaton Slovis comes in. You'll see what you get from him, but he definitely has the upside to be a good starter for this team. Really good veteran offensive line for Pitt. And defensively, on the defensive line, you got some studs of, I know they're like they got some really hard names to say, but there's some NFL talented guys on the D-line, so that'll be good for them. And that's who I have at number 3, the Pitt Panthers. Number 4, the Virginia Cavaliers, led by Brennan Armstrong, another really good quarterback. Man, the ACC's got some darn good quarterbacks. But yeah, Brennan Armstrong and Dontavian Wicks, that duo is going to be spectacular. I also like Billy Kemp. I saw him in person last year at the Carolina versus Virginia game. I was impressed by him, I really was. But the offensive line, really inexperienced, and that worries me. Anytime an offensive line isn't good or inexperienced, it just throws off the entirety of the offense. But I do have enough faith in Brennan Armstrong and the group of weapons that he has that they'll be good enough. And you lose Noah Taylor on the defensive side, so I'm not sure how much you're going to get from that group, but we'll see. So they are my number 4 team. Number 5, I'm going with the Virginia Tech Hokies. Been a bit of a rough stretch for Virginia Tech over the past couple of years. I don't think this is the year they bounce back. They do have a new coach in Brent Pry. It'll take a while to adjust and get that all back up to speed. New quarterback in Grant Wells, more than likely to start this year. So it's just a lot of unknowns. It's tough to say that any of this is going to end up for them good because there's just so many unknowns. So I have them here at number 5. And the final 2 teams on this rankings, 6 is going to be Georgia Tech to start off with. It's just been really yucky for the Jeff Collins-led Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. It's been really bad. I think actually Jeff Sims is really a solid quarterback. He's nothing special, I'd say. But I mean, I think he's an average quarterback. There's just not much around him to help, and the coaching isn't getting it done. So not much else to say here with Georgia Tech. But in my opinion, without a doubt, team overall in the ACC is Duke. I mean, there's just not much here. You bring in a new coach in Mike Elko, who you hope brings good news over the next couple of years, but this year, you just look at this roster and depth chart. There is not much to look at. Duke, it's going to be a really rough season for him. It's been really rough the past couple of seasons. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say about that. But yes, that does mean, well, this is the Atlantic and Coastal Divisions ranked here. So that means Clemson and North Carolina is my prediction to who will be matching up in the ACC championship game in Charlotte. And I want to be biased, obviously, but I'm going to go Clemson here. I don't think Carolina, although I think they will take a stride this year, they're not quite there. But if they can keep their recruiting up and they can keep getting better, I think they could be on Clemson's tier one day. But right now, I'm going to give it to the Tigers. If the quarterback question gets solved, I don't want to say it's easy for them, but they'll have a really good chance at coming out as ACC champions. And it's hard for me to say not a single quarterback in that room won't emerge as the guy. So I do have Clemson winning the ACC in, I don't know why it says 2021, but 2022-2023 season. And for the final thing we're doing today in this video, the 2022 ACC Player of the Year, I actually have as Devin Leary, quarterback of the NC State Wolfpack. Again, sorry that says 2021. But Devin Leary, one of the best quarterbacks in the conference without a doubt. And I think he's just got the supporting cast to be good enough for him. I don't think they're going to be able to rely on running backs much this year, which is why I think they'll be passing the ball a lot more to those guys like Thayer Thomas. Excuse me. Like Thayer Thomas and Devin Carter. So I think that's why they're going to be passing the ball a lot. They're going to have a really good defense, which will get the offense on the field more. So I do have a lot of confidence that Devin Leary could be ACC Player of the Year this year. So guys, thank you for watching today's video. Please like if you haven't already. Trying to beat this YouTube algorithm, it's a toughie, man. So I really appreciate that. Thank you guys for watching. A lot of bangers to come in the near future, including a 2022-2023 UNC football depth chart and season preview type video. I did one last year. It was great. You guys enjoyed it. But thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, do all that YouTube stuff, and I will see you guys in the next one.